Ford is set to lose over $4.5 billion on EVs this year alone. The media is calling it a catastrophic failure. But what if I told you this massive loss is part of a brilliant hidden strategy that has nothing to do with electric cars? Ford is on track to lose over $4.5 billion on electric vehicles this year. That's not a typo. Billions. The headlines are screaming that Ford's EV strategy is a catastrophic failure, a disastrous U-turn. But what if I told you this massive, eye-watering loss is actually part of a brilliant hidden strategy? What if this isn't a retreat, but a calculated pivot that reveals the unexpected future of not just electric cars, but hybrids and even gas engines? For years, we've been told that EVs are the inevitable future and that gasoline is dead. But the numbers coming out of Ford tell a very different, more complicated story. This isn't just about the Ford F-150 Lightning or the Mustang Mach-E. This is about a fundamental shift in the entire automotive market. So today, we're going to do a deep dive into the real Ford EV strategy. We'll expose why the pivot to hybrids is the smartest move they could make right now, and what it truly means for the future of the gas engines that, believe it or not, keeping the company afloat. Is this move genius or insanity? Let's find out. First, let's address the elephant in the room, the money pit. Ford's all-electric division, Model E, is bleeding cash. For every single EV they sell, they are losing tens of thousands of dollars. Projections show they could lose up to $5.5 billion in 2024. How is this even possible? Three main reasons. First, battery costs. The raw materials for EV batteries, like lithium and cobalt, are incredibly expensive and volatile. Ford, like many legacy automakers, is still scaling its supply chain and hasn't reached the cost efficiencies of a company like Tesla. Second, manufacturing complexity. Ford is essentially running 3 different car companies at once. They're trying to build brand new EVs on new platforms while simultaneously updating and producing their traditional gas and hybrid vehicles. This is massively inefficient compared to an EV-only startup. Finally, consumer adoption has been slower than the most optimistic projections. High interest rates, a spotty public charging infrastructure, and range anxiety are still very real concerns for mainstream buyers. So, when Ford announced they were scaling back production of the F-150 Lightning and delaying future EV models, the world saw it as failure. They saw a company waving the white flag. But they were only looking at one piece of a much larger puzzle. The Ford EV losses explained are not a sign of defeat, but the cost of entry into the next generation of automotive technology. While the Model E division was losing billions, something remarkable was happening in another part of the company. Sales of Ford's hybrid vehicles exploded. The Ford Maverick hybrid pickup is one of the most in-demand vehicles in the country, with dealer markups to prove it. The F-150 PowerBoost hybrid is wildly profitable. Ford realized it had an unsung hero in its lineup. This is the core of the U-turn. It's not an anti-EV move, it's a pro-hybrid pivot. Why? Because hybrids are the perfect bridge technology. They offer significantly better fuel economy than traditional gas cars without any of the range anxiety or charging headaches of a full EV. They are the perfect product for the hesitant but eco-conscious consumer, and most importantly for Ford, they are profitable, very profitable. By increasing production of hybrids, Ford can satisfy consumer demand, meet tightening emissions regulations, and generate the cash needed to fund their long-term EV ambitions. The future of Ford hybrid vehicles is to act as the financial engine that powers the electric revolution. This allows Ford to play the long game, letting the EV technology mature and battery costs come down before going all in. They're using today's profits from hybrids to pay for tomorrow's EV dominance. So, if hybrids are the bridge, what about the place we started from? Are gas engines making a comeback? The answer is no, because they never left. Ford's traditional gas and commercial vehicle divisions, Ford Blue and Ford Pro, are cash-printing machines. The profits from F-Series trucks, Broncos, and transit vans are astronomical. These vehicles are the bedrock of the company's financial stability. The pivot to hybrids actually strengthens the position of gas engines. It takes the pressure off. Instead of a frantic, money-losing race to convert everything to electric overnight, Ford can now take a more measured approach. They can continue to invest in making their internal combustion engines more efficient and powerful because they know these engines will be a crucial part of their portfolio for decades to come, working alongside hybrids and EVs. It's not a battle between gas and electric, it's the creation of a diversified energy portfolio for vehicles. The profits from Ford Blue and Ford Pro pay the bills, the profits from hybrids fund the future, and the investment in Model E is the long-term bet on where the industry is ultimately headed. So let's put it all together. This isn't a U-turn, it's a brilliant three-pronged strategy of coexistence. Think of it like this. Ford Blue and Ford Pro, with their gas-powered trucks and SUVs, are the profitable present. They are the foundation, generating immense cash flow. Hybrids are the profitable transition. They are the bridge to the future, meeting customers where they are today while funding research and development. And Model E, the all-electric division, is the long-term investment. The current losses are the price of building an entirely new kind of car company from the ground up. By slowing down the EV rollout and leaning into their hybrid strength, Ford is giving itself time. Time for battery technology to improve, for charging infrastructure to be built, and for consumers to become more comfortable with the idea of plugging in their cars. The real Ford EV strategy is to use its legacy strengths, gas and hybrid manufacturing, to methodically and profitably build its electric future, rather than betting the entire farm on an immediate and risky transition. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and Ford just decided to pace itself. So, what does this all mean for you, the car buyer? It means you have more choices than ever. It means that for the next decade, hybrids are likely to be one of the smartest, most practical options available. And it means that the reports of the gas engine's death have been greatly exaggerated. Ford's strategic pivot isn't an admission of failure, it's an admission of reality. A reality where the future of the car isn't one size fits all. What do you think is the future of your driveway? A gas-powered truck, a practical hybrid, or an all-electric vehicle? Let me know in the comments below.